Hey, what's up, guys? You all know that the Baby Jesus 2 review is upon us. But you know, this is just one example of one of the horrific films that I will review. Now, I have 9 other films here. So as you can see from the title, this is 10 of the worst movies of all time. And you know what pisses me off? Is that a lot of these movies got rents at Blockbuster. And I mean a lot. And there's 2 different ways that they get rents. The first way is exploit black people. That's what Maverick Entertainment does. That's what they're good at. And the other way is pretend to be something else. Let me just go on a side rant here. Over at Blockbuster, they classify stores as 3 different things. Hispanic stores, African American stores, and Blockbuster stores for everyone else. Now, at the African American stores, you can just guess what we get regularly. Horrific black films. And do you know why? It's because for some strange reason, I don't mean this in a bad way, guys. I know a lot of you are going to take this out of context, but black people just cannot help but to rent horrific films. You take any movie, put it on the shelf, put a bunch of black people on the cover, and let's name it Gospel Time. And you know what? By the end of the month, that movie would have at least over 1,000 rents. Well, not really 1,000. It'll get like maybe for one film, like we have 1 copy up there. And let's see, from the rate that people bring stuff back, out of a month's time, which is around 30 days, it'll probably have around 20 rents. That's pretty good for just 1 copy of a movie. But you know what? The Hispanics, they don't do that. We had gotten films like Hoochie Mama Drama, and it's like it has a whole bunch of Hispanics on the cover. That movie didn't get touched by any Hispanics. I don't know why, but Hispanics, they don't taint their sense of quality to support their own people. They don't do that. Black people seem to get the impression they have to rent movies like Treasure in the Hood. Just because it has Cat Williams in it, and because it has a long line of black people on the cover. But you guys can see, this is starring Ronaldo Ray and Cat Williams. Just like another certain movie. So you guys can already tell right there that these movies here, they're not made with the black people in mind. They're only made to exploit their weakness for black people. But for Cat Williams movies, just about everyone likes him. So they were tricking white people, Hispanic people, everybody. And oh man, you know, if there was one person that isn't really capable of grasping the black community, that would be Master P. Black Superman. This movie is about starring Master P, of course, and he smokes some weed, puts on a Superman costume, well, black Superman costume, and goes around thinking he's super because he's high. I am happy to announce that this movie didn't rent that well. It did not rent that well. I was proud of my people. Now, this movie here in particular, made by Maverick Entertainment, the same people that made Reverend I'm Available, which I'll talk about in a second. But this movie is so bad. I can only stand to watch 4 minutes. Now, I try to watch every single movie I watch to the end. I try. But this movie was that bad. That 4 minutes was all my brain could take. It's just so horrific. Like, first of all, this chick is one of the ugliest things I have ever seen. She looks like something that came out of the Jim Henson Woodworks. But the acting in it is horrible. The graphics, the special effects is horrible. I mean, to give you a brief example of what's happening in this movie, the first 4 minutes, she's flying in a ship, and it's just like this. Stay on course, guys. We're under attack, guys. Stay out of their fire range. Be careful, number 2. Then number 2 gets blown up. See, number 2. Dang it. Dang it. It's just like that. It's horrific. And you know what? Some guy had rented this along with an Asylum film. The dude came back very, very upset. This is not a good film, guys. And I know a lot of movie watchers, when they hear about a horrific film and how bad it is, their reflex is to go get that movie and watch it themselves. But guys, please wait for the review on it. I don't want you guys to waste your time. Having this one here just kind of burns my mind. Let's take the label off of this. I'm sure I don't have to say much about this movie. The worst part is, like, everyone on the back cover looks like they're having an orgasm. What a horrific film. Now, these here are made by a company called The Asylum. Now, remember when I told you guys that one of the ways people make money from movies is that they pretend to be something else? Well, that would be The Asylum's way of making money. Because when this came out in Blockbuster, guess what was in theaters? King Kong. When this came out in Blockbuster, guess what was in theaters? The Day the Earth Stood Still. When this came out in Blockbuster, guess what was in theaters? High School Musical 3. And oh, let me tell you, there's a lot more. When Alien vs. Predator came out, I think Alien vs. Predator 2 in theaters, Alien vs. Hunter came out in stores. When Transformers came out in theaters, Transmorphers came out in the stores. Now, with all the Asylum films, I can add those to this list. It shouldn't be just 10 of the worst movies of all time that I've seen. There's a lot more, but these are just the ones I really have on hand. Now, these are all purchased with money that people have sent me. So, I can review these to you guys and destroy them right on camera. Now, this movie in particular, one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. This is a musical. And it's just so bad. And the worst thing about it, the one thing that really makes it worse is when you go and watch the special features where the director and the writer of the movie talk about what brought upon the creation of this movie. And this guy here, he in particular, he was on American Idol, I think, last season. One of my friends actually was at American Idol and actually went to Hollywood. He sent me a picture of this guy from his phone and said, "Guess who this is?" I nearly crushed my phone in anger. Now, this movie, you can tell that this is actually just trying to be a huge ripoff. Look how the kids jump in the air, all excited, just like a High School Musical cover. Look, it's the same exact font and style for the title of the movie. And these horrific things, it's people see these things and they think they're the ones in theaters. They think they're the ones the ones in theaters have already come out on DVD. And they come back angry and upset. Oh, almost forgot. Now, this is one movie in particular that was so bad that I cried. I literally cried tears of pain. This movie is called Reverend, I'm Available. Just listen to that title. Just say that title in your mind over and over again as I read more of the cover. A gospel musical comedy. Now let's go over the story of this movie real quick. The basic story behind this movie is that the Reverend, I'm closing my eyes because I'm trying to keep calm here. The Reverend, his wife dies, and 3 overweight, disgusting black women from his congregation tried to court with him. And it's a musical. And somewhere in there, they have some form of comedy that to the average human being would actually cry tears of blood to. Which I cried. Not tears of blood, but I guess my body was used to the horrific films by then, so my body gave me tears instead of blood. But this movie is by far probably one of the worst movies in history. Anyway, those are the 10 films, people. 10 horrific films that I will be reviewing for you guys. Starting with this abomination here, which I will finish this week on my free time. Since I've been trying to do some videos earlier, but I guess I still wasn't 100% because every time I try to do a video, I start getting headaches again. But I'm not getting headaches right now. I'm just right now in just disbelief as to what I have in my house, in my room, on my shelf. It hurts. So if you guys want to familiarize yourself with these films, go watch trailers on YouTube. They're there. Oh, they're there. Oh, and also, this movie here in particular, when I first saw this movie, I went on YouTube and I looked up the trailer and I commented on it. And I got hate mail from people who knew the actors in the movie. People who supposedly worked on the movie. And for people that actually did or actually were in the movie. I'm going to try to find those for you guys. But anyway, you guys have a lot to look forward to. And I have a lot of anger to release. I'll see you guys later.